Gentlemen, today we're taking a trip back in time. Or more specifically, back in time for me. It's going to be a bit more of a personalised video, but one I think that you guys will still find useful. Because after learning the things that I have about men's style and how my own personal style is gradually progressing, I always look back and I wish, God, if I'd have known this sort of stuff at the age of 15 or 16, then things would have just been so much easier for me. And so I decided to sort of write them out, basically, fellas. 5 things that I would tell my 15-year-old self to do with men's style. Because although I was a happy kid and I dressed all right, I suppose, I was never sort of a chavvy tracksuit wearer, I definitely wasn't making the most of my personal image, physique and everything else. And hopefully you guys watching this video will see some of the style mistakes that maybe I made when I was younger, and if you're making the same mistakes yourself, you'll hopefully be able to eradicate them. The first style tip that I would have given my 15-year-old self is, Ben, stop wearing white socks with stuff. I don't know what it was, fellas. I think it's because basically my dad always used to wear white trainers constantly, and he always used to pair them with white socks, even when he wasn't doing sports. And the thing is, he still pretty much does it to this day. He's never really chosen alternative options, and he's always ended up wearing white socks. The problem is, white socks just generally, unless you're doing sports, don't look good with most stuff. They're one of the least versatile colours of socks you can imagine. I think I remember the day that I stopped wearing white trainer socks with normal outfits was when someone said they look like Michael Jackson. And I mean, that is probably the worst comment I think anyone's ever made about my appearance. So I knew something had to change. And I find that wearing different coloured socks, I mix it up now, generally darker shades, are a lot more versatile, and it doesn't look like you're just going out to the gym. Style tip number 2 is style related. It's basically, go get yourself a better job so you can actually afford stuff. I sort of went through the final year of high school and then through college with basically no money to spend on myself, so I was essentially relying on the stuff that my mum was buying me to wear, and that is the single worst thing that probably happened to my appearance. Because I didn't have the money to go out and buy stuff, my parents weren't the type that gave me money. I had nothing to actually spend to go and buy stuff that will actually make me look better. To be fair, my college experience was pretty much the same as my high school experience. I was in 5 days a week, full days again, which didn't leave me with much time to actually get a job. No one really wanted to employ me. I absolutely hated college. I probably should have quit in all honesty and gone somewhere else where maybe I wasn't in as many days a week. Would have given me the chance to actually have a job alongside this and actually rack up some pounds, which I didn't have. And not just this though, because I think that I wasn't utilising any cheaper methods of buying things like clothes. I wasn't going to places like charity shops. I was sort of disheartened whenever I used to go into a charity shop because 99% of it's terrible. I wasn't looking for that 1% of good stuff that was in there. But also buying stuff on places like eBay, and to be fair, eBay wasn't as big, I don't think, back then as it is now. But I definitely could have bought myself stuff that looked a lot better than what my mum was dressing me in for not that much money. The third style tip I would give my 15-year-old self is look online for style advice. YouTube really wasn't much of a thing when I was 15, which was 8 years ago, believe it or not. I know I have this youthful face. I'm actually older than I look. However, there wasn't much style advice out there. But there was other stuff. There was things like websites, blogs, which did have information on at the time, and it was free, and I just wasn't using that information. I don't know how I really expected to dress better if I wasn't taking anyone's advice. But for you lucky people, right now, I'm coming to you through the powers of YouTube, and this is the best way. I can give you direct, specific advice in a way that it's just more entertaining, in my opinion, than reading through a massive article. The fourth style tip that I'll give my 15-year-old self is go and buy some different types of shoes. The thing is, chaps, this sort of links back to the thing I said earlier about my dad wearing white socks and white trainers. I pretty much just had my school shoes or college shoes and then a pair of white trainers, and that was pretty much my entire shoe collection. In my mind, that covered all the bases because I had 2 pairs. I had casual, I had a formal pair. What could possibly go wrong? I had pretty much no knowledge of how things went with each other and the different types of shoes that were out there, what could look good on me. There wasn't really many places that I thought I could go to buy shoes from. Eventually I started experimenting with different colours. First of all, different colours of trainers, and then creeping into some tan shoes as well. And then my shoe collection has sort of flourished over the years. And it just means I can wear more stuff that looks good, because without the right pair of shoes, loads of clothing items don't really go with the whole outfit. And that is my advice to you guys out there. Maybe you only have, 1, 2, 3 pairs of shoes. Have a look at what's out there on the market. I do make constant recommendations about different types of shoes that you guys can buy. I also have started a Clark's Shoe of the Week thing on Instagram, suggesting certain types of shoes that can look generally good for most guys. So there is a link to my Instagram page in the description if you want to keep up with stuff like that as well. And the final tip number 5, is do something proper with your hair. My hair is probably the flattest, most dull out of all the style YouTubers. Honestly, this stuff, when it's lying flat, is so fine that it lies perfectly flat onto my head, and it's almost impossible to get volume and stuff into this thing. And when I was younger, I had no plan of attack. I had no idea how to get my hair to do stuff, because it was so disobedient compared to other people's. I wasn't experimenting with products. I wasn't looking online for guidance and advice on how to get volume, lift and shape into my hair, and also how it could be cut to make me look better. But luckily, fellas, I've got all the bases covered on this channel now. I've made every mistake. I've finally learned from my mistakes. I've tried like thousands, basically, of different hair products. I know what works for me, and if I can get this flat mess to actually stand up and do stuff, then believe me, it's a miracle, because I have, according to the hairdressers anyway, the trickiest type of hair possible. So there you go, fellas. That is my 5 style tips that I'll give to my 15-year-old self, and I wish I'd had them then. What I want to know from you guys in the comment section below is, what 5 style tips would you give to your 15-year-old self? Let me know. I'll join the discussion in the section below. As always, fellas, the ratings are greatly appreciated. Hopefully you enjoyed something a bit quirky today, a bit of a different topic for the channel. If you did, make sure you leave it a like. And also, if you're new around here, you want to see some more videos like this, style advice, grooming advice, things that can really help you out to look better, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I